All right, so let's do this. Hello, friends. So as you know, the purpose of my channel is to help people who are diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, bipolar 2 or whatnot, for support. So this video, it's actually harder for me to make, but this is going to be about bipolar or borderline. I'm not even, I got both, so I'm not sure which which it is, but the depression, the downs. So I thought, what better time to make a video than when you're actually in it and you're going through it. So it's definitely where I'm at right now. I just feel like I'm even like, why am I even making a video? But if I don't do it now, then you'll only just see me in mania. So I'll just be like in every freaking video, and it's not gonna make any sense. But we have a full spectrum. I wish I could just be like la all the time, but I'm not. Let's see. Let me think. So, where to begin? So yeah, the first thing. So, as far as becoming a recovered borderline or a bipolar in remission, it does not by any means mean that you're cured of the disorder or the either one. But what those actually mean when you get that title, it means that you are aware and able to manage your symptoms or whatever, you know what I mean. You basically you can manage your whatever that's called. Yeah, I can't even think, but you know what I mean. You can manage. So the first step that they're going to teach you is you want to identify. I mean, constantly you just want to identify, where am I at? Like, what am I feeling like right now? I'm just like, I feel like crap, you know. My hair, I just really don't care, you know what I mean. I'm about to light a cigarette in a minute, but so I've identified, all right, I'm in a crappy mood, you know what I mean? Good to know. I mean, just as long as you're aware, because believe it or not, that's so important, because when you're not aware, I mean, I know for the longest time, it's just, I was living, you know, but it can affect the people around you, which is kind of like the point of treatment. I mean, if the people around us didn't matter, then we could just act however we wanted, right? You know. So, but anyways, the point is I identify. I feel like crap. You know. For me personally, I was taught that the first thing, once you identify which mood you're in, you want to have a checklist. So, like for me, depression and ick. You know what I mean? It's just this feeling of, for those of you, I can only imagine. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I imagine this is probably how like it feels like to have a menstrual cycle. Like just the thought of like, you know, part of your body doing that, you know what I mean? Like that's how I feel right now. I feel like I almost want to like pick a fight with somebody just to be like, I mean, sometimes, but let's see, and there's exercises and things that go around with that. So, anyways, the first thing I do is I go through my checklist, which is 1, did I take my medication? If you take medication. 2, have I gotten sleep? 3, have I eaten? And you know, it's the funniest, littlest things, but it makes a difference. And you know what really sucks is the worst mood I'm in sometimes, I just don't want to eat, or I don't feel like laying down, you know what I mean? Like, but I know I need to. You know what I mean? But you want to make that checklist, and then it's like you kind of have to challenge yourself. I don't know, that's how I am, because if you're down and you're feeling like crap, well, why would you want to do anything anyways? Who cares? You know, like the world sucks, you know. But the thing is you got to challenge yourself and go, do I want to feel like this, or do I want to feel better than how I'm feeling right now? So then it's just like, all right, I guess. Like I'll force myself. Like, okay, fine, eat something I guess I haven't eaten. It's weird how that works, but it does. But you know, I've gone through my checklist, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm in a mood. They don't advise drinking, but it's one of my medications. But no, but definitely you want to get your program down before you go relaxing. So a couple other things that you want to be aware of is when you're in your downs. To me, I got really lucky because my mom's not only got similar type diagnosis, she's also a cancer. And the cool thing about cancers is when they're in crabby mood, we'll say, their nature is they hide away. You know what I mean? They go hide in their shell. Like they just don't want to be around people. And that's actually a great thing to learn. When you're in your downs, try to avoid people. I mean, like right now, this is my little office that I made in my bathroom during the pandemic. But hide away. You know, you don't really want people to see you like that. You know what I mean? And it's best not to be around people when you're like that, because you're not really gonna, everything they say is gonna be tinted in negative. You know what I mean? Like, you're just gonna. So what I do actually when I want to interact, but I'm just like in a crappy mood, I'll watch YouTube videos. Like, even like I'll watch tarot reads, and like the things, everything they say, I'm just like really, you know, and I'm talking like mad smack, but it's to a video. You know what I mean? But you want to be conscious not to do that to real people. And it can happen if you don't address, you know, the mood that you're in. And I've ruined quite a few relationships like that where I was just in a bad mood. But another good rule of thumb is when you're in a good mood, no matter what your diagnosis is, you want to use that moment to explain in a very light, fun way, you know, about what your bad moods are like. And it's funny because at the time, because you're like, oh my gosh, and I'm just like explaining it like this, people are like, oh, okay, you know. But then when it happens and you're just like, I told you this was going to happen. You know what I mean? You're just like, they have to respect you and accept you because you warned them ahead of time. And it's like, what? I told you I get moods? You know what I mean? Like, do you really? I mean, I think of like a woman in a mental cycle. It's like their boyfriends know when it's that time of the month, you leave them alone. At least that's what I learned growing up with female family members. But yeah, what else? I had other things I was gonna say. Well, no, I have. Oh, this is just a funny one that I do. But okay, so knowing that you're identifying that mood is so key in your becoming a recovered anything. That you want to know. So once you're aware, you know not to have any deep thoughts or serious thoughts about things. Like, you don't want to think about like your relationship or, you know, your work goals in life. You know what I mean? Because if you allow your mind to go to something serious while you're in that mood, it does not end up well. You know what I mean? You end up quitting your job or like being like, why the hell am I dating this person? Or, you know what I mean? Like, but understand it's a mood. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, you've got to feel it out. I mean, I don't even know if that would work. Like, I mean, medication only does so much. I've never done heroin or anything like that, but I would imagine even if you shot yourself full of drugs, your mood's still your mood. I don't know. That's just how I see it. But I do have my drinks. They mellow me out. I do take my medication, but it definitely doesn't shift the mood. But I make sure to stay away from heavy, serious thinking. You know what I mean? Like, save that for your everything's great mode, you know? Stay away from having serious conversations with people. Just be aware, like, for me, I make it's me time. That's what I learned from, you know, as like my mom is a Cancer, so like downtime is me time. I mean, if I'm in a relationship, I'm like, I need to be left alone. Sorry, you know. And I leave it at that. Like, I don't even bother to explain, because if I try to explain, I already look like I'm angry. Oh, another little trick that it's funny, but I also learned from my mom. It's a weird thing, but it actually works. There's something about when you're in that kind of like down mood, lifting your eyebrows. If you just like, you know what I mean? It might make you look snooty. Anyways, you're by yourself, but just something about lifting the eyebrows. It almost like lifts the mood from like a down to like a, well, I don't really care, and you know what I mean? But it does something. I don't know why, but it works for me. You know, I like to lift my eyebrows, like, anyways, blah 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 blah. It makes me feel like lighter. I don't know, just a weird thing that I notice works. But what's I going to say? I just can't hold the thought. I really don't care that I can't hold the thought. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Do you? I hope I'm not the only one who feels like this. Like. But yeah, okay, so stay away from serious conversations with people that you love. Or it's just, I would stay away from any kind of conversations. That's just your you time. It has to be, because it just doesn't come out right. How could it? You know what I mean? You're just like, yeah, I mean, definitely, if you want to keep a relationship, I mean, I never really got to keep mine that long, but I definitely know what made them go down fast was interacting when I was in this kind of mood. But I don't know, because, you know, you don't want to get into that mode either where you're, I don't know, like, alienated from the world, you know, or I don't know. You know what, sorry, it's probably all coming out. It's my mood, again. Oh, so the other thing, too, is feel the mood. Don't try to put that fake face on, unless you're at work or something, you know what I mean? If you're at home and you're in the comfort of your space, nothing gets the mood by quicker than to feel it out. If you're sad, cry. Oh my gosh, it goes by so fast. But if you try not to cry and you're like, I'm not gonna cry, I'm fine, it'll prolong it. That's why they actually say girls get through breakups faster than guys do, because guys will tend to like date somebody new and act like they never had feelings, while girls, they'll cry it out, they'll eat the ice cream on the couch, you know what I mean? But they feel their emotions and they process them, and boom, it's done, you know? But like a guy, it'll hit them later because they just like actually they didn't care and they got a new lover. Blah, blah, blah. Feel your emotions. Feel them and they will go through so much faster, I promise you. So, yeah, I mean, like, I'll just, even if I'm in a sad mood and I'm just like, I'm on the verge, I'll put on something sad to watch, you know, or think of something sad or whatever. I mean, when I'm in that kind of mood, it's not hard for me to cry, but I encourage myself to cry. I might have mentioned it in another video, but there's actually, there's a science behind crying. When you release tears and you cry, there's a painkiller released in your brain. Weird, right? And that explains why when you're emotionally hurting, you cry, because it's a painkiller. And then also, like, if you bang your elbow or your knee or something, you also cry. Again, it's a painkiller in your mind. Cool trick, but it so works. Have you ever just, like, been so upset, and then after you cry, you're like, whoo, 1,000 pounds lifted off of you, you know what I mean? Let it out. Feel that emotion. You know what I mean? And like I said, explain to people when you're in that happy mood that this is gonna happen. You know, make it like, but it's okay, you know what I mean? Like, so that way they know, hey, it's not forever. You're not gonna be this fucking bitch, angry, sad, whatever you are, you know, it'll pass. Just like the good moods are gonna pass, the bad ones will pass. But the more you prep the people around you, the more understanding and supportive they could be. But if you just are you know what I mean, and springing it on them, they can't relate. Or they're not prepared, you know what I mean? It's like a guy dealing with a girl on her menstrual cycle. He's never had one, so what does he know about her? Like all of a sudden just being in this crappy mood, you know what I mean? So, but similar, you know, I as much as possible prepare people ahead of time for things. Like when I'm in like maybe in like a happy mode or making new friends, I'm just like, oh yeah, just so you know, I'm borderline personality disorder. And sometimes I feel like this, and they're just like, oh really? Oh, you don't seem like that way at all. But then when it happens, they're like, oh. But they're prepared, you know what I mean? Try to prepare people around, so that way when it happens, you don't need to worry about it, because the last thing you need to do is worry about what somebody else is feeling when you're going through your emotions. That's your time, feel it out. But plan ahead, you know, when you're feeling great, hey, let them in, but you know what I mean? Try to prepare. Make it as easy for you as possible, because you're the one with the disorder, you know what I mean? It's just awful when you're just constantly worrying about what other people are thinking, or prep them ahead of time. Hey, this is what's going to happen. Just so you know, you have the chance to walk away. Just, you know, because if you tell them when you're in this kind of mood, it's like how I am right now. Walk out the freaking door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to, you want to avoid that, because that's not what recovery is. So, is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, I don't know. Just feel it through. It'll pass. It will pass. I'm already feeling better just talking to you. No. What's funny is if you go over to my tarot channel in like 5 minutes, I'm going to be like, hi! Just because it's, I don't know. It's what we're taught to do. I worked in worked in restaurant for so long. In restaurant business, you don't get to have a personality. Everything's just like, oh, cup of water? Oh, okay, you want to yell at me because your food's taking too long? It's not like I'm fucking cooking it. But you can't say that. You just have to. But you know what I mean? But yeah, I actually went into, that was one of the topics that they made me focus on in therapy, was they're just like, you need to stop masking your emotions. Because I was always just like, oh, okay, like everything's fine, you know, like, oh, but it wasn't, you know what I mean? I was feeling like crap, but as long as it's bad. And it's because it wears you down. It'll exhaust you. Putting that fake face on, it takes so much energy, especially when you're already down and feeling like crap. Oh no, you know, don't. Address it. It is what it is. I feel like today, you know, leave me alone. Let me feel it. It will pass. And it does, it passes so much faster. So, hope that helps. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. Love you guys. Don't forget the like button.